What's up, guys? A lot of people have been asking me about my nutrients and what I use for nutrients. So here's a quick little video on my nutrient cupboard. Got some CFLs up there, some salt for my fish tank. Basically this row and this row are my nutrient lineup. I've got Blackstrap Molasses right here, unsulfured. This thing was like, well, you know, right there, $7.79 at a health food store. This stuff's really good for the flowering stage. It's like a sweetener. It's also kind of like a flushing agent. You don't want to overdo it because it's really high in iron, calcium, and potassium. So, you know, just like a little tiny bit, like a teaspoon, like once a week, maybe a little bit more, a teaspoon twice a week is plenty. So, Blackstrap Molasses. Alright, when I first started growing, I didn't really know anything about growing. I asked the guys at the hydro store, I need something good. They sold me this algae extract by, what is this, House and Garden. This thing was like 90 bucks. I barely used any of it. I like using it for the vegetative state, but other than that, I don't know. I really can't say that, you know, it's an amazing product because I barely use it. And I believe they even took this off their lineup. So, you know, I was a rookie at the time, and I'd like to say that most likely my hydro store took advantage of me when they sold this to me. Anyways, that's why I like to get samples from my hydro store now. So you can see I've got a lot of samples. This was a sample. This was a sample. All these were samples, including I've got the Bloom Grow Micro Bloom setup from Advanced Nutrients. I've got 2 bottles of B52 for free. I had 2 bottles of Final Phase. I gave one of them away to a friend. They gave me this Sensi Grow A and B. I also won some products in a raffle at the same hydro store, so I completely forgive them for selling me this because I ended up winning a 1,000-watt setup from them. So that was pretty cool. So anyhow, my main nutrients that I use currently is Sensi Bloom A and Sensi Bloom B for the flowering stage, at least. I've also started using, wow, sorry about that. I've also started using bud candy, and definitely recommend this to anybody who's growing anything. You know, if you're growing bud, use some bud candy. It's like 2 milliliters per liter, which is about 7.5 to 8 milliliters per gallon. Also, CalMag from Botanicare. I really like Botanicare products. I know they're kind of considered cheap and more for beginners, but I had great results on my first grow with nothing but Botanicare products. And all I used was Botanicare's Veg, Botanicare's Bloom, and CalMag. And I had great results. You guys can look back at my videos to see that. So I recommend Botanicare, honestly. But Advanced Nutrients, I know they catch a lot of flack, but some of their products really work. So bud candy, I'm telling you, my buds right now are super frosty, and I give credit to the bud candy for that. But as far as I'm concerned, Botanicare Veg, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're trying to find something to veg with, go for Botanicare. It's like 15 bucks for a bottle. It's a 1-part, and all you have to do is add like 15 to 20 milliliters per gallon every time you feed, which is, you know, every other time you water. So if you're starting out, I recommend Botanicare just because it's really easy to use and it has pretty good results. Now the root Bastok, I just started using this. It's an Atami product. I got two sample packs of Atami. One was the cocoa, and the other was the soil. They are 2-part systems. They also came with these Bloom Bastok additives. This stuff's like super concentrate. You use, I think, 1 milliliter per gallon, and it works really well. I also would suggest for everyone to get Super Thrive. Super Thrive is very good. This thing, 2,000 gallon drop, 1 drop per gallon. I mean, this thing's great. You know, it's won awards. It's definitely a must, and it's like $10 at your hardware store for one of these bottles, which gives you 2,000 gallons worth. So I mean, that's definitely a must. Another thing that you definitely want to have in your selection is Xamax. This stuff works amazingly well. You can do soil drenches, you can do foliage sprays, and I mean, it's really good. I've heard recently people say it's poisonous and all that stuff, but I don't know. It seemed fine to me. Honestly, when I sprayed my plants with it and gave them a soil drench, over the next few days, everything started looking shinier. Like my leaves, you know, kind of like neem oil, how neem oil coats everything and protects it. This thing pretty much does the same thing. And in fact, I think neem oil is a more concentrated version of this. So if you don't want to spend the extra money, you can get neem oil. Because I mean, look, $20 for this little thing. Keep in mind though that, you know, it comes with enough to, you know, take care of take care of a small grow for at least a few cycles of harvests. So anyhow, another thing, a little tip on if someone's trying to go into a hydro store and get free samples, I recommend going in there with something you already are looking to purchase. Like I went into the hydro stores and I got Scentsy Bloom A and B, and I bought the bud candy, and I ended up walking out with all these bloom. I got 2 of these, 2 blooms, 2 micros, 2 grows. I also got Scentsy Grow A and B. I got all these samples just for one little trip to the hydro store. So a recommendation if you're trying to come up on free samples, go to your hydro store, make friends with them, talk to them a little bit, buy stuff, and as you're buying something at the front counter, that's when you make the question, hey, do you guys have any samples? I'd like, you know, to check out some new stuff. And most of the time they'll have a few cases laying on the floor somewhere of a lot of samples for you to try out. So I recommend doing that. Don't walk in there and, you know, be a douche and just be like, hey, where's the free stuff? You know, because they don't want a bunch of mooches coming to their store. They want people that are going to bring them business, you know, and spread the word that it's a good hydro store. So that's what I recommend doing. For the Scentsy Bloom A and B, I believe it's 4 milliliters per liter per gallon, you know, so that's about, I think it's 14 or 16 milliliters per gallon, something like that. No, my bad, it's like 14. And the bud candy, it's 2 milliliters per liter, so I use, I think, 7 milliliters per gallon. Same thing with the CalMag. So if you buy a thing of CalMag and you buy a thing of bud candy, and if you're doing just a personal grow, this stuff is going to last you a long time, basically. So, and then while you're buying that, don't forget to ask for some samples. So basically, guys, you just need to have a base nutrients of veg and bloom, and a couple of additives, not very much. Another thing you want to get is mycos. You can buy this. You don't need to go to a hydro store. You can get it really cheap at any gardening store or hardware store. So I definitely recommend adding this to your, your arsenal here. You're going to want to sprinkle, I think, a tablespoon for every plant whenever you transplant. And because I use tap water that isn't fully cleaned, I add a tablespoon about once a month now to help rejuvenate all the microbes and the bacteria and everything, all the organisms in the soil. It kind of, this thing's like, what is this? Like a lot of spores in this stuff. So basically these are my nutrients. I'd say the Blackstrap Molasses is necessary. The CalMag is necessary. Bud candy, go for it. I'm telling you, it's gonna make a difference. You don't need to buy all the advanced nutrients additives because they are pretty pricey. But honestly, I've got a lot of advanced nutrients samples here, so go buy one of their products and ask for some samples. It's a great way to try out some new products. I also got some cloning gel samples last time I was there. This stuff worked really good. I had roots in like 7 days on some of my clones. So, not like crazy roots, just like one root popping, but it's still, definitely the way to go. So I was originally using root tone. This is like a powder, something your parents probably used or your mom used for her roses or something. But I do like the cloning gels a lot better than the powders. So anyhow, guys, that's just my video. It turned out to be like 12 minutes long or whatever. Sorry it's pretty long and I'm rambling, but I'm a little bit faded. So anyhow, I'm going to end this. You guys, if you have any questions, send them. Try to get your free samples because, you're going to be probably spending a lot of money anyways on nutrients. So you might as well get something for free. But alright guys, so that's my video. Here's my nutrients. I only really use these, right now I'm using these 6 products with Blackstrap Molasses. So this is like my flowering nutrient lineup. Blackstrap Molasses, Sensi Bloom A and B, Bud Candy, CalMag, B52, and final phase is a flushing agent. It's supposed to work really good for flushing, so I've been using that too. Oh yeah, and the Bloom Bastok. Can't forget that. Alright guys, well, I'm going to stop this video because it's getting quite long. But I hope everyone's, staying high, staying happy, having some good holidays. Don't forget to try to get your free samples. Peace out.